So it's like 10:58. I'm in my room this morning, just by myself, relaxing, being quiet, staying away from Lou and Linda. And all of a sudden the doorbell rings again. Yesterday we had two drug-pushing social workers that wanted to take me to a hospital that I was not expecting, did not ask to come in, but they're insurance scammers, so they come to the house, no problem. Later in the day, another two insurance scammers for the full entourage of the hustle, where they drain the insurance company for nothing important, come to the door to check to make sure my son's okay. So then this morning, 10:58, Lewis goes to court, he says, but I wouldn't know, I was sleeping with my son, comes back and calls 911. So the doorbell rings and I hear, now we are in a tiny, tiny apartment. In London, you call them flats. It's like 120 square foot room is where I hide. It's like a closet. And then there's like maybe two 400 square foot rooms and a 400 square foot kitchen. That's it. It's as big as like the apartment is. And like that, maybe not even that big. So Lewis apparently called 911. They ran over. They were wonderful as usual. But there was like 25. Well, let's see. There's maybe there had to be about 12 people in the kitchen. There was mostly NYPD at first. And they were like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, I have no idea. Why are you here? So apparently Lewis is standing there like he's a 70, almost 80-year-old man, but he's got the mentality of a 3-year-old. He's standing there with his cell phone, and he's like, because she's on YouTube, and she's saying really bad things, and she can't be saying that. I want you to take her to the hospital. And the police officers, also my age, about a bajillion years old, and patient as anything with EDPs like Lewis. They're like, sir, we can't just, she could say whatever she wants on YouTube. It's free speech. But it's hate speech. And he's like, well, if YouTube feels it's hate speech, they'll take it off. And I'm like, actually, Dad, I was like, it's really not hate speech. I was like, and it's not I'm like, Lou, I was like, you got this. I was like, I'm locked in my car by myself, talking to my camera by myself, and I put it on YouTube. I'm not out in the street. I'm not screaming at people. I'm not following them with my camera, telling them to get the fuck out. I'm not in public doing anything weird. I was like, so why is it, Lou? He's like, she has on a page. He's like, they said she was schizophrenic. They said that she was a drug addict. They said that she did oxycodone. And I'm like, Lewis, first of all, did you have an open heart surgery? He's like, yeah. And I was like, did you take Percocet after your surgery, Lou? And he's like, that has nothing to do with it, Nicole. I go, actually, it has everything to do with it, Lou. I was like, it's the exact same instance. You have a full audience. Now all of a sudden there's FDNY, the fire department. Now, and by the way, there was a handsome FDNY that showed up today. Maybe he's a calendar guy. I don't know. First one I ever met. I really don't run into the FDNY. And I try not to run into NYPD. I know they're busy with other things. But and then EMS showed up. So now I'm like, so Lewis, I was like, it's the exact same thing. I was like, so now you have a full audience of several different New York City workers. I was like, we're mentioning that I took oxycodone after a surgery. Oh my God. Thanks for disparaging your only daughter in front of everyone in public service. I was like, and right, I had a problem where I wasn't taking my thyroid medication, and I was trying to quit smoking, so I took something called Chantix. And I wound up hallucinating and driving myself to a hospital. Happened to be the same time that I was at the other three events with the National Guard and the Suffolk County Police. And then I went to Stony Brook, which was the bullshit schizophrenia diagnosis to go with the paperwork elsewhere. But Lewis is like, so, we have to go back to human land. So he's like, so she has it. And it's like, no, Lou, I've never been, I had a student doctor who wrote on one scrap piece of shitty paper, toilet paper, along with his degree, that he thought I was schizophrenic. I was like, but I've had several doctors I went to after the fact, and they disputed and said that it wasn't, that it couldn't have been, because it would have displayed before. I don't see things that aren't there, and I don't hear things that aren't there. What do you want from me? Humans? I mean, Lewis is holding his phone, but it's a YouTube thing. And I mean, it was really hilarious because like the police officer was like, sir, we're not understanding, like, what's the problem? Why did you call 911? Like, what was so urgent you had to call 911? Because your daughter put stuff on YouTube and you didn't like it. And then the other gentleman was like, she has rights. You can't just kick her out of your house and like just put her out on the street. And he's like, no, because Lewis really thinks he can, and he's done it before. So you steal my $50,000 that was supposed to save my house from foreclosure. You took the money, you spent it on yourself. You wouldn't let me have any money whatsoever, not even to get like my hair done or to buy clothes. You then, my house goes into foreclosure, so now I have no house to go to. So now you literally, Lewis, trap me in a 120 square foot room on top, underneath you. So now you're like the fucking tyranny on top of me. So I hide in my car all fucking day. I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to go talk to stupid fucking therapists about it. What the fuck for? They're human, and it doesn't get me anywhere. So I'd rather talk to myself on a camera, put it up into public light, and maybe there's somebody who actually works like myself, pro bono, for public service announcement that would like to come help me. Since the rest of the world is all about fucking greed, grease, money, and I can't figure out what the fuck my part's supposed to be in all of this. I know that I was told I had an important part to play. I didn't realize that I would be starved, beaten, thrown to the hospital, told I was a mental case, and so on and so forth while I was doing like actress work. You guys, like, I mean, you're a real piece of shit, honestly. I swear to fucking Christ.